This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, fine. So let's start. So in our yesterday's class, we're understanding what is PEGA. Okay, so finally, what we concluded yesterday. So PEGA is used to design web applications. Okay, so we understood PEGA is one automated tool where we'll be having all the front-end technologies, all the back-end technologies, and even database part also completely included. So this is completely developed on Java. You don't require any kind of Java coding skills. Okay, and everything related to front-end, that is HTML, CSS, are also automated, and even SQL query part is also inbuilt in PEGA. So as like in full stack development, you can design complete web application without you knowing anything about front end part or back end or database part also. This is what we understood. Maybe if I wanted to design one sample web page, we understood we can simply drag and drop all the UI elements, and then we have to take care of extra styles, maybe like validations, colors, other things. So designing front end part is much easy. Okay. And maybe if I wanted to implement back end part, so consider the same example what we discussed yesterday. So there might be something like register button. After we designing front end screen, so what will be the next option? Maybe if I click on register button, whole data has to be posted to our database. That might be one backend requirement, and one email can be triggered for the respective thing. All these are like backend changes, and for such backend things are also automated. So yesterday I showed you one thing where Java coding is completely automated for email. So did anyone remember that name? So if I wanted to send one email, so as I told you, there will be something automation with the name called send email notification. You have to observe all these things. So there will be one thing automated with the name send email notification. Just use that. Automatically, respect to Java code is ready and email will be triggered. Okay, fine. This is what we concluded. And again, so using PEGA, we can able to design internal applications of any organization is what we understood. With PEGA, we can design external websites as well as internal also. But due to some license issues, PEGA will be developing only internal applications. Every organization will be having one main website and n number of internal applications, and all these internal applications are to be developed with PEGA, and all these internal applications improves the business of any organization. So these internal applications are called intranet applications, and these applications are to be called like business processing applications. And any of the tool which is developing this business processing application, it is called business process management tool, BPM tool. This is what we have seen. And yesterday we concluded PEGA is one BPM tool where we'll be developing internal applications only. Okay, fine, fine. So we understood what are all PEGA can do. So PEGA, apart from making development easy, we understood development is also inbuilt. So apart from making development easy, PEGA can provide something like reporting part also. Reporting or data visualization, both are same. So what is reporting here? So reporting meaning, so pulling out the raw data and showing in some pictorial form. Maybe if I wanted to show database data in some Excel sheet format, maybe pie charts or graphs or maybe like circular rings like this. So reporting part is also inbuilt. Maybe if I'm not using PEGA, maybe if I'm designing my complete application in the traditional way, then for reporting we have to get a Tableau license or Power BI license, and we have to hire such developers also. So reporting part is inbuilt, and we understood integrations are also included in PEGA. Integrations meaning integrating with the third party application. Yesterday we explained all these things, right? Okay, so if my application wanted to integrate with third party application, so such integrations are required. So in this process, backend technologies might be different. So this application might be having PEGA as its background. Maybe this one might be developed on Java or .NET, whatever it is. So irrespective of its background technologies, we are supposed to integrate and get the response. So that is also very easily and securely implemented in PEGA. And once we develop our project, that has to be versionized. As I told you, there will be phases of development. So today, after you joining one company, initially you'll do development. Once development is done, next phase will be like testing. After that, next phase will be UAT. I told you yesterday, right? User acceptance testing will be there. Maybe after that, pre-prod. Next one will be like production. Likewise, different phases will be there. In every phase, we are supposed to versionize the code and send it for them. So for that, versioning is also inbuilt in PEGA. Maybe if I'm not using PEGA, if I just wanted to maintain such versions, we are supposed to go for extra tool, one more tool what we have to purchase, and we have to hire one more developer for the same. Okay. And PEGA is also providing something called deployment. Deployment meaning maybe from development phase to testing phase, or from here to production phase. So I wanted to move our code from one server to another server. This is called deployment. Generally for deployment, we go for DevOps tools. But here in PEGA, deployment is also inbuilt. You need not go for any extra tools also. Okay. So from client perspective, PEGA is providing end-to-end solution. So starting from analysis phase to till the deployment phase, it is providing end-to-end solution. Maybe today, if we wanted to start a bank, maybe if we all are planning to start one bank, and if we choose PEGA as the option, in that scenario, I don't require for any other tool. I need not go for DevOps for deployment. I need not go for Team Foundation server just for versioning. I did not go for Tableau or Power BI for reporting. So we did not go for any other tools, meaning we don't require any extra license. Budget will be saved, and we don't require any team also for them. So if I'm trying to go for Tableau, I have to hire Tableau developers and I have to pay them, right? So no such extra effort for us, no such extra budget also. So since PEGA is providing end-to-end solution to the customer, all the clients today are choosing PEGA for their platform. Okay. So it is providing integrations, it is providing reporting, everything. So considering all these things, PEGA has got some huge advantage in terms of resource cut down, maybe in terms of development time. Okay, consider we wanted to start one project. Consider one maybe something like we are starting one project, and this project, if I wanted to design without PEGA, consider I'm starting on a project, may not be with PEGA. For that, I have to maintain like front-end developers, right? So front-end developer should be there, maybe at least like 3 developers, and maybe backend like 4 developers, and we have to maintain like database related admins also, developers also, maybe like 2 database developers, and Tableau. So 2 Tableau developers, maybe like versioning related 2 members, and maybe for deployment something like 3 members. Just imagine, so if I just wanted to create one project, maybe in the traditional way, so there might be like minimum 15-member team. And that too, this project, since it is doing everything from zero, everything we have to develop, right? It may take around 2 years of time. Just an example. So if I'm the client, so if I want this project, so for how many members I have to pay? 15 members. For how many years? 2 years. So just imagine I have to pay 15 members just for 2 years. So if the same project, if I'm trying to develop with a PEGA, okay, so we know one PEGA developer, he can do what a front-end developer is doing there. One PEGA developer, he can do what a backend developer is doing. So if backend developer is trying to send one, or writing some Java code to send one email, same thing we can do from here. We need not know what is Java also, but same work whatever he's doing there, we can do from here. Yes or no? So I can do what a front-end developer is doing. Maybe we can do what a back-end developer is doing there, and we can do what a database developer is doing there without we writing single query from here. And we can do this person's work, this person's. So one PEGA developer can do all the other developers work, am I correct? And he need not have anything like physical coding knowledge also, but still he can do complete thing. So here if you are maintaining like 15-member team, we can just maintain like 5-member team, right? And that too every member can do every person's work here. That is like extra advantage. And this PEGA is more or less completely automated. In that scenario it will not take 2 years time. Maybe if it is taking like 4 months, just an example I'm saying. Okay, so if you are a client, for how many members you have to pay? 5 members. For how many months? 4 months, that's it. Here you have to make payment for 15 developers for 2 years, maybe for 5 developers just for 4 months. So from client perspective, if I'm the client, just imagine, so how much budget I'll be saving here, and how much development time. It is taking like 4 months, it is taking like 2 years. So development time has been reduced a lot, and resource cut down. So 15 members is like 5 members, resource cut down, budget issues, everything. So from client perspective, all these are like advantages. All these are like advantages. So that is the reason every client today, he might be like banking related client. Maybe if we wanted to start one insurance project, maybe if we all are starting one insurance, so we can choose PEGA for our internal applications, right? So from banking sector, we are having PEGA. From insurance sector, maybe like retail sector, government projects, healthcare. So in every sector, in every of its internal applications, we are using PEGA now. So every client is choosing PEGA because of all these advantages. Since projects are increasing, so demand also will be increased, right? So PEGA developer will be paid high. Okay, so coming to the salaries wise, so today PEGA developer is paid around $80 per hour from onshore. Just imagine $80 per hour. So per day they'll be paying around for 8 hours. So you'll be getting almost like $320 if it is in India, maybe $640 if it is like on-site client location. Okay, this is like on-site salary. On-site salary in the sense, if you are working for city client, your city client might be in USA, in USA. And if you are working for that client, maybe for India, this is like offshore location, and this is like on-site location. So every one of you dreams should be like, today you have to learn PEGA, maybe after 3 months or 4 months you have to join somewhere in PEGA project, and then after slowly you have to go to client location. So then you'll be paid around this one. Okay, so in India, if it is like offshore location, they'll be paying around like $40 per hour. $40 per hour. $40 is not a small amount. Just imagine, $40 maybe into like 8 hours, maybe like into 80, then you'll get per day salary in Indian rupees. Just imagine how huge it is. But you will not be paid directly with this amount. You will not be paid. So this city client, he will be paying you for your company. Maybe if you are joining in CTS, this city client on your name, he will be paying for this company for this amount. And this company will not pay you completely, right? So they will be paying you in terms of like package. They will not talk anything about hourly basis or yearly basis. They will talk about 10 lakhs package, 15 lakhs package. So if company is getting that huge, then only they will be paying you this amount. So if company is earning like 1 crore per year just because of you, they are paying like just 10 lakhs. So company is okay even for paying 20 lakhs also, because they are getting that huge. So today in Indian market, getting 20 lakhs is like huge for us. So if we are getting 20 lakhs, just imagine how company is getting on your name. Okay, and if you can directly go for the client location, you'll get complete amount on your name only. Okay, so salaries are huge. But today most of you might be having like career gap. Most of you might be coming from other sectors. So in that scenario, don't directly think about this huge salary. So every one of you, first initial step should be like join some PEGA job. That's it. It might be related to contract position, or it might be day shift or night shift. Even if it is like 5 lakhs, or even if it is like 25 lakhs, whatever it is, Every one of you, your first initial step should be start working into PEGA. That's it. From there you have to wait for 2 to 3 years. Then after you have to switch to some other best MNC, and you have to work maybe for 2 years, and then you have to switch to some other client location. Likewise, your dream is to go to direct client location maybe in the next 10 years. So if that is the case, whatever the amount client is paying to you, that will be directly reaching you. Even today, client is paying huge for you, but it will not be reaching you directly. In between, there are multiple consultancies. TCS is one consultancy. Cognizant is one consultancy. And for TCS, we are having one more contract to hire. Likewise, multiple consultancies in between. Just like an end user, you will be getting like 5 lakhs package or 20 lakhs package or 30 lakhs package. If you are alone getting 30 lakhs package, just imagine in between consultancies how much they are getting and how much client is paying for you. Okay, so salaries are huge in PEGA. And before this PEGA, Java developers used to be paid high. Java developers, they used to be paid around $70 on an average. Okay, now PEGA developers are like paying huge today, $80 per hour. And there will be companies where they are paying like $120 per hour also, contract positions. So if you go for US, and their contract positions will be there, where you will be joined like an PEGA developer just for 1 year or 6 months. Contract period also they'll straight away, a friend, they'll say on day one itself. So in that scenario, they'll be paying around $120 per hour. Okay, just imagine packages will be huge, provided you have to understand how to implement everything logically. Okay, whatever your requirement might be, no coding at all. Front end no coding, database no coding, and even back end also no coding. But you have to implement, you have to understand everything implementing logically. Okay, you have to understand implementing logically. That is not that easy. So slowly you'll come to know everything on practice basis. Okay, so we are trying to make you everything implemented real time, maybe implementing practically. For that, we'll be giving you multiple requirements, multiple real-time assignments, okay, maybe multiple real-time projects. So we'll try to make you learn to that level, provided you have to parallelly work with me for next 3 to 4 months. Then only you can survive in the market. Okay, fine. And that too, PEGA developer, once we join today, since as I told you, PEGA license cost is very high. So small companies, they cannot afford. So only big companies, big clients, they can go for PEGA. So if big companies are going for PEGA, they wanted to make that project running for next to 15-20 years, no doubt. So consider Aadhaar card system. So Indian Aadhaar card system is running on PEGA. So in that scenario, if any other competitor coming, suppose there is one competitor like ABC coming, just like a competitor for PEGA. So today Indian Aadhaar card system has purchased with huge license for this PEGA, and they're paying developers also with huge amount. They're maintaining such project. Now if any other competitor is coming, so will this client cancel this license and go for this one? And whatever the amount he spent for this license, it will be wasted. And whatever the developers is trying to pay now, it will be wasted. So project moving from one tool to another tool is not that easy. It will take minimum 15 to 20 years. It will take minimum 15 to 20 years. So since they have invested lot amount in terms of license, since they have invested, so maybe in terms of training for their developers, maybe their complete project structure, it's not that easy. So once a PEGA project is started, it will be in market for minimum of 10 to 15 years. So as a PEGA developer, once you start learning PEGA today, for next 15 years, easily you can survive in the market. Maybe after 15 years, what will happen? Today you choose PEGA, so you are happily surviving the market for 15 years. Maybe after 15 years, there might not be development, but there will be support. There will be support. Okay, so consider this as our IRCTC application, so Indian Railway Booking System. Okay, and this application might be completely developed. Just an example. Okay, there might not be extra changes also. So in that scenario, development is completed, right? So no further developers required for this client. Okay, but still there should be something like support team. Support team in the sense, so there should be certain team of members who should be supporting this project every time. Suppose as an customer or as a real user, if I'm trying to book a railway ticket, maybe if transaction is failed, or if I'm getting something like a message like something went wrong, my money got deducted, maybe ticket is not confirmed. So there should be someone to work on this technically, right? Maybe if I'm dropping an email, I'll get a reply saying like my technical team is working. So there should be one technical team just to support these kind of issues. So this technical team is also like PEGA related only, no? If it is like running on PEGA, just an example. So as an PEGA developer, you might be joining today some company and you can survive in the market for 15 years in terms of development. Maybe post that, there can be some kind of support projects also. Okay, support projects also. So for survival, you need not worry about. Okay, this is what. Fine. And coming to the competitors wise, so in BPM sector, PEGA is one, BPM two. In BPM sector, there are multiple competitors. Okay, so compared to PEGA, so all these are like competitors, but there is no equal competitor for PEGA. There is no equal competitor. So you take any other BPM tool, so only just like 50% automation done. Rest 50 percentage, you have tried coding. You have tried coding. So most of you people know something like Salesforce. So this is actually CRM, not a BPM. So this Salesforce is also automated. But just like 60 percentage, whoever is working on Salesforce, they'll come to know that they have to write a lot of coding. 40 percentage coding will be there. So people generally cannot survive in Salesforce if they are not interested in coding. Okay, but in PEGA, there will not be any coding at all. Meaning, so this is 95% automated. Okay, just search in Google like low code platform. Okay, if you search in Google somewhere like low code platform, you'll get PEGA as the option. Okay, so PEGA is like 95% automated where there will not be coding at all. So any other BPM tools, there are not even like 60% automated, and on top of it, we have to write customized coding, which might not be easy for everyone. Okay, that is the reason from developer's prospect also, PEGA is like huge advantage. Okay, and most of you doesn't know that PEGA is from past 30 years. So many people will be thinking like PEGA got recently started. No, this is in the market from past 30 years. So there are still projects which are running from past 20 years also. There are still. Okay, and the project whatever I'm currently working, so it is running from past 20 years. And we are still having 15 years of scope for that. Upgradation, cloud migration, everything. Okay, so market will be huge for PEGA, not a problem. Okay, fine. And coming to the certifications wise, so today you are learning PEGA. Maybe after 3 months or 4 months, what is your tendency? You wanted to go like an experienced. So you wanted to showcase like 3 years, or sometimes 2 years, or sometimes 4 years. So you wanted to showcase like experienced level. So if you are planning to go for experienced level, then interviewers they'll ask you what is the certification proof. So in PEGA we'll be having three major level of certifications. There will be other level of certifications also, but these are like primary. So first one is called PEGA CSA, Certified System Architect. Okay, so if you wanted to showcase yourself as experienced, maybe between 0 to 2 years. Okay, if you wanted to show like just 1 year in PEGA or 0 years or fresher, so it is encouraged or it is recommended to go for one level of certification. Maybe if you wanted to showcase like 3 plus years, okay, then it is strongly recommended to go for CSSC. CSSC in the sense you cannot directly do this one. First you have to do this, and then you have to do the second one. Okay, and maybe if you wanted to go like a lead, so there will be people maybe like 10 plus years of experience, maybe in other sectors, 10 plus of testing experience, maybe 10 years of mainframes developer or manager. So if they wanted to jump to PEGA as like a lead, then they are supposed to do this one. So lead system architect, which is like not that easy. So if you wanted to go like 6+ years of PEGA experience, you have to go for this LSC, lead system architect. So these three are like major level of certifications. Okay, major level of certifications. And each certification, you have to pay the exam cost and you have to complete it. And it will be around $175. Actual cost is 175 US dollars. And from India, it will be having like GST also. So $31 will be GST. And total price will be $206, which will be around close to 16,000 rupees. Okay, which will be around 16,000 rupees. And you have to pay for this one separate cost. And for the second one separate cost. Each exam cost will be around $206. And if you wanted to go with second certification, 100% first thing what you have to do first one, and then you have to do the second one. Okay, so generally people will be thinking about what should be the gap between these certifications. As from system, we can do all three certifications in one day also. System will not object that. But in terms of genuinity, we suggest you to do the certification as soon as possible. Maybe if you have chosen PEGA as the best option for you, okay, in that scenario, you have to do certification today itself. You might take training from tomorrow, whatever it is, but you have to do certification today itself, because certification date is very, very important. Maybe if you are going like 3 years experienced, and interviewer, if he's asking you what is the certification date, then it is expected to say like 1 year back or 2 years back state. But if you say it like yesterday I have done, I'm having 3 years of experience, but I have done this yesterday, who will believe you? It's not that genuine. Okay, you can manipulate any certification date, you cannot manipulate. So this is the only thing what interviewers can catch with this. Okay, but still, because of opportunities in PEGA, so interviewers, even though they know if you are fake, but still they'll take. Okay, consider if my company is having two positions. Okay, and if I'm looking for only genuine candidate, if I'm looking only for genuine candidate, then maybe there is person A, person B, two persons came to me for interview. So person A is 100% genuine. So he's genuinely having 3 years of PEGA experience. He's CSA certified as well as he's CWSS certified. Maybe this is like 3 years back and this is like 2 years back, whatever. This is perfectly genuine person. But he's not performing well in the interview. Okay, and other person. So I know that he's fake and he's having 10 years of career gap. Okay, and he's not certified. And maybe he has done certification just 1 day ago, but he's very, very strong. So whatever the requirement we give, if he's in a position to do this, so as like an project manager, whom I have to hire, A or B? B. So if I'm hiring A, then he might not meet my client requirements. Whatever the client requirement we are getting, if he's putting everywhere like blank face, what is the point of taking him? So managers or some kind of interviewers, even though if you think, or even though if they are thinking you are fake, they will hire you. They will hire you. But maybe in this process you might be fake, right? So what they will do here is they will mark your BGV like least priority. So your BGV might be failed, that everyone knows, but they're treating it like least priority. So they will hire you. So filling one position is very, very important. Why? Because if in my company if there is a position, I have to fill it. If I'm filling that position with some person like ABC, my client will be paying for him from that day itself. My client will be paying. Okay, so maybe my client will pay around almost like 50,000 rupees per day. Will pay him around 2,000 per day only, right? So filling this position is very, very important. So if I'm looking for only genuine candidate, so in that scenario, if I'm waiting for 1 month or 2 months, just imagine. So my company will lose that much of billing from the client. So filling this position is very important from the company's prospect also. Okay, so we'll hire some uh, technically strong person, and we'll make him like BGV least priority. So we'll check his performance maybe for 1 year or 2 years. After that, maybe if I wanted to release this person, generally what companies are doing today, they are saying like we have done reverse BGV for you. So we are releasing you, we are firing out you. So this is what happened. This is what happened. So point here is if a candidate, even though if he is fake, if he is having good technical skills, no one will stop him. No one will stop him. So he will straight away absorbed into some project. He'll work there. So if client is very much comfortable with this candidate, no one will release. No one will just release the candidate. So he'll be continue. Maybe if his performance is poor, they will not straight away fire out. So it will be bad name for the company. They'll say like your BGV is failed. So our BGV team has done one more round of background verification. So day one, they will straight away mark like least priority. They know BG will be failed, but still they are hiring just to make that position filled with some good candidate. Okay, just to get the billing from the client. This is what happened. So finally, what I mean to say here is, even though if you are having long gap, even though if you are like different background, so your technical skills are very very important. So if we are giving you one requirement, if you are in a position to do that, so everyone will absorb it. Even in TCS also this can happen. Okay, so maybe if this is TCS, there is like city client. So if this city client is pressurizing to hire one new resource, so they are ready to pay huge for this person. So TCS, they can hire a person maybe like least priority. So one technically strong person with least priority. So far maybe client and this person, if they are in good terms, no problem at all. Maybe after a few months, if client is saying like we don't want extra resource, or maybe if this performance is not up to the mark, in that scenario they can go for reverse BGV and stop it. This is what happened. Every time technical skills only important. So just to make this possible, we are trying to work with real-time projects. Okay, so we'll be doing like 3 real-time projects. So if you got a chance to look about our YouTube channel, okay, so every one of you might be knowing by this time. So if you just check for Chandra PEGA trainings in our YouTube, so you'll be finding our real-time projects also. What are the projects we are developing? So those projects, one you'll find it like insurance project, one you'll find it like healthcare project. So these two will be pakka real-time. So you can just watch these videos. You can just forward this to your fellow PEGA developers. Any of one of our colleagues is working there, so they'll say like how closure this will be in terms of real time. So if we can understand everything working in terms of real time, then 100% your background education or whatever it is, you can survive in the market. Okay, maybe initially for 1 or 2 years you might face some kind of hurdles. Okay, after that, maybe after 2 years, you can easily stand in the market. So this is what happening. Okay, so these are like in terms of certifications. Along with these three, there will be other level of certifications also. So PEGA business analyst, there will be one certification. Okay, and maybe like PEGA robotics. Okay, PEGA UI specialist. So these will be other level of certifications. So these will be like extra add-ons for you, but these three certifications are like primary. So to what extent you are having strength in PEGA, that depends upon this one or this one or this one only. If you say like CWSA certified, then companies will be expecting you as like 3 years of experience. You should be in a position to handle in such way. This is what. So clear everyone? Okay, so these certifications also to be done as soon as possible. As soon as possible. So without you learning PEGA how to do the certifications. Okay, so for that you please message me or call me personally, I'll guide you. So certifications should be done immediately. Okay, so for that you have to reach me personally. I cannot talk in this forum. Okay, fine. So finally, PEGA is something where we are understanding that everything is automated, and you have to understand how to implement these things logically. It's not that easy also. So you have to understand how to implement all these things logically. Okay, consider you are learning completely PEGA today, and after that you will be joining one company. You'll be joining one company, maybe CTS. So day one, whenever you join, you'll be getting one employee, right? You'll be getting one employee, and after generating this employee ID, maybe you will be in bench maybe for 1 week or 10 days till your project is allocated. So this CTS is giving you a project related to Citibank if they are deploying into Citibank. So city project is what we have to work. So city project might be having maybe like 4 internal applications. As we understood, if any client is going for PEGA, that is for their internal applications only, no. So day one, maybe city project whenever they started, so they decided that they should be having one credit card application, and they decided that there should be one loans application, and they decided that there should be something like accounts application, maybe something like salary management likewise. So every organization, they will be having multiple implementations or multiple internal applications. And day one, when they choose to PEGA as their platform, what they have to do, they have to get license from PEGA Systems team. So there will be one company called PEGA Systems. Okay, so this PEGA Systems team is owning our tool, okay, PEGA tool. So every client should get license from PEGA Systems, and they have to get that installed. And with that PEGA, we have to develop all these internal applications. This is the concept. Getting my point? This is the concept. So everyone following it online? Tell me. Online? Any doubts? Anyone so far?
Okay.
Okay, right? Okay. So consider today you joined one company, maybe like City as your client. We understood this particular client will be having multiple internal applications, right? So there might be one internal application related to credit card, and there might be one application related to loans, and there might be one application related to accounts. Okay, so there might be like 3 or 4 applications. Today, as a PEGA developer, you joined CTS company and City is your client. So day one, your manager, what they have to do? So they have to give certain mock-ups. I told you, right, yesterday. So you will be given, maybe if you are a developer and where you are asked to work on this credit card portal. Suppose if I'm a bank employee, so I have to use credit card application, right? So this application, whatever I have to use, that is what you are developing from your office. Okay, fine. So this application generally in screen number one, what can be the thing? So if I'm a bank employee using this application, maybe 4 or 5 customers coming to the bank, right? So first customer I have to register, second customer I have to register. So what can be this application design? Maybe for this first customer, when you're coming to me asking for credit card, first I have to register himself. I have to register him. So screen number one, there might be like registration. As part of registration, I have to design it here. So maybe I'm collecting something like first name. అవునా కదా? So there can be something for first name, and there can be something for last name, and there can be something for age, mobile number, gender. Okay, likewise. So day one, after you joining one company, your manager is giving you one mock-up just to design the screen number one. What you will do? Maybe you'll try to drag and drop first name, drag and drop last name, age, other things. And in that process, you have to take care of styles, you have to take care of alignments, and you have to take care of validations also. So this is what you have to do. Maybe for this whole screen to be designed, maybe if you are taking like 4 hours time, just an example. So same thing, if we are trying to do it in 2 days, in PEGA we can do it in 4 hours only. So for this you are designing like you're taking like 4 hours time. Once you are done designing this screen number one, your manager is asking you to implement the same for loans application also. So even in the loans application, screen number one will be registration only. అవునా కదా? So maybe today, consider I'm staying in Chennai. Okay, I go to Citibank and asking for a credit card. So they'll ask all my details. So first name, last name, everything as part of registration. After 3 months, maybe I came to Hyderabad, and there in the same Citibank, I'm going for loans. I'm going for a loan. Still they'll ask all my details, right? Still they'll ask all my details. If I say like I'm having already one account for credit card in the same bank, my details are already with you, so you can get details from there, will they accept? No. No. So for every application, screen number one should be registration only. Registration only. Why? Because business analysts today, they are trying to include everything fresh again, just to collect latest information. So by this time, I might be in Chennai and my salary might be something. And after 3 months, my location might be in Hyderabad. Maybe my salary might be changed. Everywhere business analyst wants to get latest information. That is the reason maybe in loans application also they're designing for registration again. As a PEGA developer, what you will do? Maybe here you have designed everything, maybe it took like 4 hours, and your manager is asking you to do the same even for second application. You will include like first name, last name, age, mobile number, gender, and again he is asking you to work on the third portal: first name, last name, age, mobile number, everything. Once you are done with all the last things, then you realized that you have done some repeated work. అవునా కదా? So whatever the work you have done for first screen, first application, same work you have done for second one, same work you have done for third one. Am I correct? So we are doing some kind of repeated work in this case. Okay, so if it is taking like 4 hours here, here also 4 hours, here also 4 hours. So just working on a similar requirement for 12 hours is not that correct way. It's not that correct way. So there is nothing like reusability applied here, right? Getting my point? Follow Nara? Online everyone following, right? Just tell me, confirm me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear, right? Okay. So whatever the work you have done for application 1, same thing you are doing in screen 2, maybe application 2, application 3. So there is some kind of repeated work you are doing. Instead of you following this kind of approach, if you can maintain, so if you can
Framework.
maintain, yeah, if you can maintain these reusable things in somewhere kind of library, maybe there is some kind of library where all the reusable things might be. So on the day one, whenever you're working on this screen number one, if you feel like first name, last name, and other things are reusable, if you can maintain in one library like first name, last name, age, mobile number, in that scenario, these things can be directly used into application number one. And if your manager is asking you to work on this application, we are anyway having content ready in library. You can use from there to here also, right? Maybe from there to here we can use it. Maybe after 2 years we are starting one more application, maybe like gold loans or something other insurance portal, whatever it is. There if I wanted to include first name and last name, if we are doing everything from beginning again, just imagine there is no point of reusability. Instead, whatever the common point we are maintaining, so if it that can be used into this position, just imagine how easily the work can be done, how reusable it can be. So this common point, whatever we are calling it like a library, this is to be technically called with other name. So that we'll talk. So here, as a PEGA developer, your design should be something like this. Maybe this is our organization, and maybe this as our library. Okay, and for this there can be one application related to credit card, and one application related to loans, one application related to accounts. Can we go with this design? Am I correct? So can we go with this design? So today your manager is asking you to work on this one. In that scenario, you felt something like reusability. What are the first name I wanted to include now, so that should be used in some other part also. Better to maintain in this common library, first name, last name, age, other things. This can be used here as well as here as well as here. So technically this library, we have to call it like, tell me anyone, someone is saying, what is this to be called?
Framework.
Framework. This is to be called as framework. And all these internal applications, this is to be called with something technical. What is that? Any idea, anyone? Implement, yeah, yeah, implementations. This is to be called as framework application, and all these three are called implementation applications. This is implementation 1, maybe implementation 2, implementation 3. Okay, so our final motto is to design implementation applications only. So in the bank, if I go for a bank, there will be maybe three counters: counter 1, counter 2, counter 3. So first person will be using credit card, second person will be using loans, third person maybe like accounts. So all the business happens at implementation applications only. So that is what we call it, like implementation. All the business happens at implementations. And just to make these implementations running smooth, we are having like framework. We are having like framework. So finally, what is the definition of framework? Framework is something where we'll be maintaining all the reusable components. All the reusable components. So I'll be maintaining something like reusable things here, and that are to be used in every implementation. That is the concept. Okay, framework is something where all the reusable components will be maintained. What is the definition of implementation? Implementation is something where we will be maintaining its own specific components. Its own specific components. What is like its own? Consider this design. Maybe this is our Citibank, and this has got one framework, and maybe it has got three implementations. Maybe it got three implementations. So today you join in one company, and your manager is asking you to design credit card application, and you'll be getting one mock-up, right? Screenshot kind of. So in that screenshot you are seeing like first name or something like first name, last name, age, credit card type, and expected credit card limit. So you are finding these things in that mockup. Now as a PEGA developer, you have to understand where to create what. So this first name, where you will create? Framework, you know? Yes or no? Yes. Last name, where you will create? Hmm? Framework.
Framework.
Age, where you will create? Framework. And credit card type, where you will create? Credit card type, where you will create? So in
Framework.
implementation, no, no. Okay, so if you are creating in credit card type, okay, someone is saying like framework. If you are creating credit card type also in framework, and this credit card limit, where you will create generally. So maybe if you are creating that also here, okay, if you are creating everything here, then we will be using all these from framework to here. We'll get the output, no doubt in it. We'll get the output. So whatever the mockup my business analyst is giving, exactly I'll get the output. Okay, fine. Now if I have to, since I have created this in framework, so it should be used in some other place also, right? So we know in some other place, first name, last name, age, only these things will be used. So this credit card type and credit card limit, will this be used anywhere in the loans application or anywhere in the accounts application? Just tell me. Just a minimum common sense. It will not be used, right?
Mm.
So whatever looks reusable, create those only in framework. So here credit card type and credit card limit, you can straight away create it in the implementation. So implementation application is something where we'll be maintaining its own specific components, and framework is something where we'll maintain reusable components. Okay, fine. So consider, if I have created everything here like first name, last name, age, if I have created everything here, and if I check in the output, so there will not be any difference. Okay, I'll get as per the mockup. Same thing if I create everything here, and if I'm trying to use from there to here, even in the output I'll not see any difference. Getting my point? So as a bank employee, if I test it, so I'll just get it like first name, last name, age, mobile number, other things. So in this process, you might be creating these things maybe in the framework or using it here, or you might be directly creating here also. In the output, there will not be any difference at all. But as a developer, you have to understand. As a developer, you have to understand creating these things in the respective place. If you are creating everything like first name last name here, and again if you create first name last name here, again if you create first name last name here, you will get equally output, no doubt in it. Maybe if you are creating everything in the framework and simply using it here, even in this case output will be same. But but which is the best practice? Creating it in the framework and using it in the below applications is the best practice. So as a PEGA developer, every time you have to follow best practice. Every time you have to follow best practice. If you are not following best practices, okay, if you are not following best practices, maybe if you, even if you are getting output, okay, if you are not following best practice, there will be something called compliance score. What is that? What is that? Compliance score. So which will be reduced? It should be actually 100 percentage. Compliance score is nothing but the percentage of best practices you follow. So this will be automatically calculated by PEGA. So there is nothing like manually given. So automatically. So meaning PEGA has got one powerful algorithm to check whether a developer is following best practice or not. This I'll explain tomorrow again. Okay, it will be just checking whether we are following best practices or not. So if we are not following best practice, something will be affected. What is that? Online, tell me, what is
Compliance
this?
score.
Compliance
Compliance.
score.
Compliance score.
So compliance score is very very important. So PEGA has got one powerful algorithm. What is the algorithm? I'll explain tomorrow. And what is the importance of this score? Okay, if score is less than, maybe if score is less, what does that mean? Maybe I did not follow best way of development. Okay, so who will decide whether it is like best way or not? As a developer, I'll develop something, and then after development, what is the next phase? Testing.
Testing.
Testing. Maybe if you are a tester, if you are a tester, what you will do? What is your duty? So you will just compare business analyst screenshot with my current development. So you'll just check everything is same or not, that's it. In that process, you will not know whether I created somewhere in the framework and using it here, or you will not know whether I directly created it. You will not understand anything. So you are a tester just to check for the output. So I will not get any problem with the tester, right? And even I'll not get any problem with the business analyst also. Maybe I'll not get any problem with the real bank employees also. Then from whom will get this problem if score is less than 100 percentage? So this I'll explain tomorrow. Okay, so we're just supposed to understand that as a developer, before you developing anything, you have to first think it's a scope. So this will be used in future tomorrow somewhere. This will not be used anywhere. So you have to just segregate in these two terms. So accordingly, you have to create it in the framework or you have to create it in the implementations. So tomorrow I'll explain. So framework and implementation concept is very lengthy, and I'll try to make everything like more elaborate and more interesting. So tomorrow we'll continue. Okay. So for today we are just understanding something about what is PEGA, what PEGA can do. So finally, PEGA can implement internal applications. Internal applications are to be technically called from now on implementations. అర్థమైందా? So all the internal applications technical game అని పిలవాలి, implementation applications. Okay. And what is framework we just introduced today, and tomorrow we'll continue.